confirmed.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to Frameshift Live episode 14, the big 1-4.
Big 1-4, that notable number, 1-4.
1-4. We're celebrating the 14th episode today. No, we're celebrating much more than that, actually. This is the official bi-weekly Elite Dangerous live stream where we talk about all things Elite Dangerous and about the community. I'm one of your hosts, Community Manager Bruce Garrido, and I'm joined by the prestigious
Bald.
Arthur Tolmie.
Bald. Hello, Bald.
Hello, Bald.
I'm Bald. Thank you for having me. It's been a very busy week. It's a jam-packed show, so I'm going to try not to talk too much or interfere with the run of play, which I tend to do. Because, again, Bruce has delicately put together some notes, which I will just go off-piste immediately on. But busy week this week. Some stuff's happened.
Busy.
Some stuff's happened. So you should probably say hello to some people in chat. So we've got 07, so I'm saying that now. Heather G, I can see the name. Heather G always there. Rixel, ZH, Jack, Havoc, Command Exorcist. Oh lordy lord, there's a lot in there.
We've got Alec Turner, Orange Phoenix, Epaphras, Ghost Rider.
How are you reading that? Are you like Johnny Five? I mean, I can't understand anything that's happening there. I saw a Sherlock. We can see YouTube chat. Hello everyone. Wow, welcome. So lovely to see you all. Oh, that's been enhanced. Bigger. There we go. I mean, it's just got big. What's actually happened, chat? Just so you're aware, is our producer Adam has just made the screen font bigger, which now means the names go faster. So I will try and pick out some of them. A Commander Cloud, Speedball, a Legendary Barry, Super Chicken. There we go. Welcome everyone, one and all. Thank you very much. I see a Darren in there. I see you, Darren. Get back on your boat, Darren. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome one and all. Like you said, Arthur, we've got a lot to talk about. A lot of things have happened since the last show, so we're going to get into all of that. And we actually have several special guests that will be joining us, so that will be great from a number of different teams as well. Before all of that, we're going to quickly go over the Twitch drop situation, as we usually do for anyone who's not familiar with the Twitch drops, and then we'll just get right into speaking to our first guest.
Yes, let's do it. I'll let you talk about Twitch drops. I know you love talking about Twitch drops, and we love a Twitch drop. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic. It's my personal joy.
Yeah, I know. I can see it. Sense it in you.
No, I am actually really happy about Twitch drops, and actually we had Twitch drops for the first time given out by streamers this week, so we'll talk more about that as well. But for our own Twitch drops for this show, so for anyone who's not familiar, by linking your Frontier and Twitch accounts, you can get access to Twitch drops every time you watch an official Elite Dangerous live stream like this one, either on the Frontier account or the Elite Dangerous account here on Twitch. So once you've connected them over at twitch.frontierstore.net/elite, you just need to start watching to earn your rewards. We have a purple welcome pack, so for anyone who's brand new to the show, welcome. You'll earn these lot very quickly. It rotates every month, so make sure you watch enough to get them all within the same month, otherwise you'll have to sort of start again. But it's a very compressed sort of pack, so you'll earn them very quickly. The first one is an Ancestral Tattoo pack.
I love this part of the Twitch drops. This is where you struggle the most. There's so much going on here. This is my favourite part. Chat, I love this. Bruce struggles, and I get joy. It's my one bit of joy every 2 weeks. Carry on.
After 15 minutes, you're going to get the Ancestral Tattoo pack.
Yeah.
Half an hour gets you the purple flight suit. 45 minutes gets you the purple SRV and fighter colours. An hour gets you the purple weapon and engine colours. And then at 1 hour and 15, you'll get the vibrant purple paint jobs. There's also some bonus drops. So on the last three that I just mentioned, you'll also get the Explorer, Passenger, and Wing nameplate packs, respectively, on top of those as well.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Well done. And anything else on Twitch drops?
No, I just wanted to savour like nailing it in one go.
So well, take it. You did well.
Didn't give you the satisfaction.
You're ruining it now, though. You're ruining it now.
I'm basking.
Carry on.
So we also have seasonal paint jobs. So every quarter or so we rotate the seasonal paint jobs which are on offer as Twitch drops. Today, I believe we have an image that we can bring on screen, producer Adam, for the Summer Night Blueberry paint job available on the Type 9. So if you watch the show for 15 minutes today, then and you've got your accounts connected like I described earlier, you'll be able to find one of these on your account.
That's a very nice paint job, actually. I really like these ones.
This one's super cool. Yeah.
I keep saying this, like there's more of these coming. We've seen all of the year's worth of these Twitch drops ones, and there's some really cool ones for seasonal ones as well. So, and it's mad that we're already in August.
It's true.
So we were playing these late last year, early this year, and we're already approaching August this year for some of the Halloween ones will be coming up, which are pretty cool.
It feels like just yesterday we were giving away the spring Diamondback paint jobs.
It does indeed. How time flies.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, like I mentioned, just a final reminder is make sure you've connected your accounts. So that's the Frontier account and your Twitch account. And as soon as you're doing that, you'll be earning these drops. twitch.frontistore.net/elite. Okay, so we're going to say hello to our very first guest, who we've actually sneakily had on the sofas next to us this whole time. So please join me in introducing and thanking Samantha Marsh for joining us.
Hello.
Hello again. Thank you so much for joining us. I know this week has been a bit busy.
A little bit busy, yeah.
Some things have happened. Sam, so for people who don't know who you are, could you just tell us who you are, what your role is, and then we'll probably ask you loads about your role and what it means and what you have to do.
Yeah, of course. So I'm Sam, and I'm the senior producer on Elite Dangerous at the minute.
So you've had a pretty busy week. So what does a senior producer do on Elite Dangerous? If you can sum it up. That's the I know it's a tough question.
This is really tricky. I think for me, I feel like I'm a facilitator, so I think my role is to unblock people, make sure that our dev team can do the very best they can do, and that there's nothing in the way. So I'm there to help with any questions, with any things, any blockers. You know, a lot of things aren't just as simple as do the thing, add the thing, we've got the thing. So, you know, I like to consider myself there to just be on hand to help, to unblock, to schedule, to you know, just be involved. And
so I mean, you're saying like unblock and schedule and stuff, but it's kind of like you have a bigger oversight of everything at once, really, because there's a lot of different disciplines, I guess, that go into doing an update or just development in general. And I think what I didn't realise until I started working sort of this close with a dev team is just how one team's work is affected by another team's work. So, but they may not understand what is slowing that team down or speeding that team up or where they are. And when you say blockers, it's like, well, they can't progress until X amount of work is done, or vice versa. So you have oversight, I guess, on all of that, and then you're trying to move these chess pieces around to allow that flow to work. So I guess I won't say the word stressful. Challenging is a word we use. It can be challenging, I think, is a word.
It's certainly something that it's never, when you have like a full pipeline of it's here, it moves all the way to the end, you're good to go. Sometimes it can go here, then back again, and then it's here, and then it's kind of, you know, it's knowing where everything is and making sure that everything can progress. And across everything, that's disciplines, the different features we have, it can be, you know, there's a lot that you have to be aware of at all times, and to make sure that everything's kind of running smoothly as well. And
I guess the other important part is you also relay that not only internally but then outwardly to other teams. So like to us, you'll speak to us and you let us know where you're on the pipeline, and we're always nagging, Sam, what's happening here? But it's great how you keep one eye on sort of this and then another eye on talking to us. So that's a senior producer's role, I guess, kind of in a nutshell. There's way more to it than that. There's way more to it.
I think that's a really nice summary.
It's nice, but obviously 13 has just gone out. I don't know. We know how we feel about it, but can you talk us through like update 13? Obviously, we knew this one was coming from a while back. It's been in the works for a long time. We are planning ahead quite a way at the moment. How was 13 for you and the team?
Amazing. It was absolutely incredible. I think for us, Elite has always challenged the status quo. I mean, back then, if you'd have said, let's make a game that's a one-to-one of the galaxy, I know so many people would have been like,
no.
What are you doing? It's amazing. And I think Update 13 was a really amazing opportunity for us to go back to kind of challenging what the status quo is and going, you know, what have we got, what can we do, what are we going to do? And I think that Update 13 was such an amazing example of what we can do. And it was really scary because we hadn't done it before, but it was also really, really exciting because we were trying some really new things and we were really excited. And that moment where we all came together, all of these, you know, different components that everyone had been working on, we were in a call and we watched all of it together. The first time that happened was such a special moment because we could see it was all paying off and it had come together so nicely and something that we hadn't done before. So it was just a really, really scary but incredible experience. And I know that the whole team has been so excited to see all of the different reactions to people as well. That we were watching all the streams and it was absolutely amazing to see people loving all the hard work that the team has done because, you know, our team's so talented and they put so much hard work into this, and it's really lovely to see it come together and see all of the efforts really come to something really special.
Yeah, I mean it's clear that the entire team has a genuine love for Elite Dangerous, and I think you said it there. It was like this was a challenge because it had never been done before. So there are a lot of stuff that, you know, we don't always see because we'll always throw suggestions. Can we do this? And it's like it's not as simple as that. But this was quite a big challenge for the team to take on. So I guess from your point of view, there was not more work, or it's just more to make sure these sort of new changes are looked at in that process you just sort of described?
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. I think in the past where you've got kind of like a packaged feature, you kind of have a clear box of things that needs to happen, and then anything on top of that, like any bugs or things that you didn't necessarily anticipate. With something like this, there's so many moving parts that you have to be aware of at all times, make sure it's all linking together. Like the load in for update 13 is a lot of things working together. It's not just a thing that we've packaged. So it's certainly slightly different to what we've done in the past, but yeah, there's the sort of components that we worked on, putting it together, loads of moving parts. So it was definitely a challenge, but I think we're so glad that we did it because it was.
I think it's very clear that players really enjoyed. They were surprised. I think that's definitely for sure. I think players were surprised to see the cinematic, but also I think one of the challenges we discussed was how do you make a player feel like when there's so many players. I mean, there was nearly 8,000 players in that system alone when it went live. But how to make those players feel like at that moment personable to them, but then also it's a galactic moment, right? So it was a really difficult thing, and I think the solution was incredible that the team came up with in terms of like the cutscene ends. And unlike a traditional cutscene, you're then in it. You're in the cutscene, right? You're then, if you buy the Bright Sentinel, there it is, wrecked in front of you, and then you get like 30 seconds to sort of compose yourself, and then suddenly, bam, Thargoids arrive, and that was for me to see players react to that. It was the surprise followed by more surprise followed by more surprise. So
yeah, absolutely, and I think that things like that as well. It's so important that it's not just this disconnected thing from the world. Elite is the world, and it's all together, and we wanted to make sure that players were part of that world as well, to the point that we had to try and consider every possible situation that players were in that system when they logged in, to try and make sure that we had all the bases covered in terms of kind of things like repositioning and making sure that they could experience this in a way that we kind of really wanted them to. So there's so many different bits and pieces that kind of need to work together to make it work on the whole, and it's a lot to it. But
I think it was an incredible experience, and we all got to see the cinematic and stuff differently. But even having seen it and worked on it behind the scenes, I don't know if it was the same for you. Maybe this is a question for you. Like I went home, I think it was late the same night, and then I got to do it myself. And even then, just for me, I was like, this is now my moment to do it. And I really enjoyed it. So I don't know if you had, if it was
I've done it like 20 times. We have ways of kind of flagging so that you can test it and experience it again. And I was honestly just sitting there like, do it again, do it again. It was just a really cool experience. And also just getting to experience the other things as well. Like I know that a lot of people have discovered the damage to Guardian modules as well in that system. Before that was fully balanced, I remember I was trying to get out of the system. I had an FSD, Guardian FSD, I had all the Guardian stuff on my cutter, so, and I was trying to get out of the system, and it was charging, and then I'd get a critical malfunction, and all this, I kept dropping out. It'd been about 2.5 minutes, and I had a Thargoid jump in, be like, hello, I'm going to kill you now. And so I experienced that kind of panic, because I'm trying to charge up and escape, and the thrusters are spinning me everywhere. So we managed to balance that so that you didn't quite get that many malfunctions. We're not that cruel, but yeah, it was just a really nice moment to experience kind of that panic of you're being hunted down, you're being chased, and just on a personal note, I've always absolutely loved the Thargoids. I think they're absolutely amazing. When I was in QA, because I was in QA before production, I remember the first experience of jumping into a non-human signal source. I put on God mode because I'm not a crazy person, and I sat there and I just experienced it with Thargons just bashing into my shit, exploding, like absolutely hammering me, and I'm there just like,
so beautiful.
It's amazing. Just how immersive it is, and I just love it. So it's been really, really cool to be able to go back down that and sort of really evolve what we have with Thargoids and that whole thing in game as well. So it's been really, really fun to be able to delve down that valley. I think as well, the point you just mentioned there about seeing Thargoids for the first time with update 13 and what's happened post Azimuth, I think even experienced Thargoids are re-experiencing how it feels to meet the Thargoids again, because we've had this period of time, this nice little curve of building up their ships and becoming quite competent in fighting and very effective at fighting Thargoids, and now the tables maybe have slightly turned in, certainly in HIP 22460, and seen a lot of people respond saying like how good it feels to be scared of them again, and like just be like, I've been killing Thargoids for years.
not me, I'm terrible at it. But now they're like, it's a challenge and or one that you don't want to face.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well, things like the introduction of the Guardian weapons, you know, sometimes they felt less scary because you were able to sort of deal quite a lot of damage to them. I think now we've sort of, in that system, now that you're taking damage on your Guardian modules, it kind of resets that level and that relationship that we have with the Thargoids, and actually, they are a threat, and what can we do? So yeah, it's really cool.
We're not going to talk too many spoilers, or any spoilers actually. So you'll have to nudge me if I start.
Sure, give you a good old.
But they seem very upset, the Thargoids, at the moment.
Yes.
Very upset.
Yes, they are quite cross.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I think is clear, and it's not a spoiler, is then they haven't left HIP 22460, which is just unusual behaviour for them, I guess. It's not really, they tend to appear and do their thing and then often go away again.
Yeah.
Don't appear to be doing that at the moment.
No, you could say HIP 22460 has fallen to the Thargoids.
You could say that, yeah. That's it's worrying times, really. If you're a neighbour of maybe HIP 22460,
yes.
I start packing you back. No, I don't know.
If that's your home system, I'm really sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
But
apologies.
also not sorry.
Okay, I've had some questions. Anything you would like to ask Sam in particular about Update 13? Or
So first, I'd just like to point out, earlier you were talking and the chat just went crazy congratulating you and the team for all the hard work you've done and the effects you've pulled off. It seems like it's been, well, I know for sure it's been massively well received and very highly appreciated. So thank you for everyone in the chat and from ourselves as well.
Yeah.
I liked what you were talking about earlier when you were talking about essentially the balance of the game contributing to the narrative and the experience players have. So the fact that Guardian modules, we've leveled the playing field through sort of you could always describe it as a balance change, but it, like I say, it changes the relationship between the player and the Thargoids as well. So it has like a story effect through balance changes and things like Thargoids not leaving the system like they normally would.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Are you always trying to, as a producer, look at changes and make sure they fit into the story that you're trying to tell? Is that part of the process?
Absolutely. I think that in this case, the story was really integral to this. So it was really important to think about, you know, you're in a situation where someone's set off a super weapon to try and exterminate you. You're not just going to be like, hey, let's have a scan. All right, see you later. You know, let's be realistic. You're going to be cross. You're not going to take that very well. So I think that it's really important to think about the dynamics of the story, but also the impact that has in the game. They're not separate, so they are, you know, the same thing, the same world. So it's really, really critical that we, you know, consider all of these points as well. Yeah, for sure. Great. Well, thank you. That's definitely come across in the game as well. So that's awesome. Did we want to bring on? I appreciate we're actually already half an hour into the show almost. Did we want to bring on our second guest at this time?
Oh, we absolutely should. We have a snazzy intermission though, right?
We do. So Sam will be staying with us, but we're actually going to bring on our second guest, who you'll see after this very short, I say very short, it's a regular length video. I don't know why I said very short. See you in a bit. Welcome back, everyone. How amazing was that video, Arthur?
It's so, I'm always blown away by what the community can put together and how they do these sort of really poignant, really cinematic sort of videos. So yeah, it's incredible. Who was that by?
So that was a depiction of the Battle of HIP 22460 brought by the Burr Pit. So thank you to the Burrs, as well as Commander Takoso, who did the music. If you want to check them out, soundcloud.com/Tom Cook. You can check out more of Takoso's work. But yes, shout outs to Commander Burr and Commander Rini for the fantastic, as always, video that they put out.
Yeah, camera work is their chef's kiss, as always.
Indeed.
Chef's kiss. But interesting, it finished on a nice sound effect at the end there, so which is a nice segue to our next guest, Bruce.
Absolutely. So should we swap to wide cam and introduce our second guest? Welcome, Robin. Nice to see you.
Sorry. I'm marvelling at your new terminology using this. Swap to wide cam. You never said this.
We said wide cam pre-show.
Okay, all right, fine. Sorry.
Hi, Robin. Nice to have you on the stream.
It's nice to be on.
We're very professional hosts, as you'll get to know throughout this interview. But no, lovely to have you on. For anyone who hasn't met you before in the chat, would you like to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your role?
Yeah, so I'm Robin, and I'm now the lead audio designer for Elite. So I've recently taken over from our previous lead, who recently left. So that's my role, and my role is basically to just get sounds into the game, make sure there are sounds in the game and it's working and it's exciting and scary and epic, all these sorts of things that Elite needs. So that's about it.
Amazing, welcome. So if there's any team on Elite that is held in absolute pristine and very high esteem, is audio, always getting lots of praise from the players for the amazing work that you do, the sound effects, the music, everything you guys put out is incredible. So initially, just thank you for the amazing work that you're doing is the first thing I want to say. Can you tell us a little bit about the role that you've played in this update?
There was a lot going on this update with various different things. A big time investment was the cinematic, obviously, which is very audio heavy because of the scale and the spectacle of that cinematic. And also just a lot of the scenarios that we're seeing, like the Battle of HIP 22460 and the after effects of how that's affected your ship once the Proteus wave went off. So that was a big focus of this update, and a lot of work went into that and balancing that and making sure it was, what it needed to be.
Oh, cool.
Sure, no, of course. So, the cinematic was obviously a big one for us. It's the first time we've done anything like that before. Actually, Sam, I understand we added the functionality to actually have a cinematic to the game in the first place for this update. So that's a really big thing and nice for us to have access to. I imagine, well, I hope that we'll make good use of that in the future. Spoilers, I won't say more. But it's there now. It's there.
You're worried about me?
So yeah, hopefully we'll get to hear more of your amazing sound effects and music in that kind of form again at some point. Obviously the Thargoids are a heavy feature in the narrative as it stands. Could you tell us a little bit about sounds of the Thargoids, how they came about, what they're based on, how you even go about making a sound effect for some alien craft or life form?
So I'd like to preface with I can't take credit for the sounds of the interceptors or the saucers because they were done by Joe Hogan and Steve Hollis years ago, and they did absolutely amazing work. I still think that every time I hear it, the sound of the interceptor still gives me chills. It actually, one of the few things in video games that actually really kind of scares me a little bit. Especially when I'm working from home late, it gives me chills down my spine and makes me a little bit uncomfortable, and that's not an exaggeration. But yeah, I know that the process of it was kind of a narrative and emotional sort of story that needed to be told between when they were first introduced, of why are they here, what is their purpose, and how does the player feel. It's a very emotional driven storytelling from the audio design point of view. It can't just be, here's a big scary monster. There needs to be more going on than that, and it needs to not be just defined by the visuals. It's about the relationship and the dynamic. But I think the key thing going on with the sounds of the Thargoids in general is that sense of unknown, of it needs to be familiar, that you can be scared of it, but it also needs to be something new that you don't fully understand. That's where the dread lies, and the sort of origin of those sounds for the interceptor stems from a bass clarinet.
Okay. Wow!
There's some really funny pictures and recordings of Steve Hollis just blowing on it and just making some horrible sounds, like, you know, like how you're not meant to play an instrument, and they're just like just making it rattle, making it squeak. And then Joe, who is amazing, just took that and just managed to make the sounds that you hear. And so that's sort of like the foundations of that is sort of wind and brass instruments, and the Scouts as well is like a saxophone mixed with other things. Lots of scraping, lots of chairs, lots of cymbals, all these sorts of things, and then processed to sort of communicate how different they are, how their means of travel through space is just so different to ours, and how they communicate is just different. It's organic. Everything's stemmed in their organic visuals and design.
Well, that's amazing. No, I think they absolutely nailed it in terms of getting across the effect and the impression that you talked about earlier, sort of unfamiliar enough to be sort of unsettling, spooky, but familiar enough to recognise that this is a being. I think they absolutely nailed that for sure. Mm-hmm. Do you work with a similar sort of methodology and process these days when you're thinking about the kinds of relationships the players want to have with the given bit of content, and do you sort of try and bring that into the effects that you use, or the ways you produce the sound?
Yeah, it's always a combination between sort of user feedback and narrative and emotional storytelling. Like, you always have to understand the purpose of what you're trying to achieve and communicate, because you can't just go in and say, I want to do this sound and I want it to sound like, you know, absolutely epic or whatever. It needs to be what it communicates to the player, and why. And that was a big part of the after effects of the Proteus wave in the system, about how does the sound of that inform you what's happening to your ship. Because you don't want to just really spam the information in terms of like, here's loads of voice lines saying, oh, this is happening to your ship, or just loads of text. It needs to be a sort of just subconscious, you understand exactly what's happening. So yeah, it's always that player-facing understanding, I think. Sure.
So rather than sort of telling, it's creating an experience. So yeah, players are not reading what's happening so much as just experiencing it is really the word.
Just saw a lovely comment that sort of sums it up. It tells you you've done an amazing job. It just said the sound design in Elite Dangerous is so good you can basically fly blind, which is an incredible compliment, and it just ties into what you just said there.
Also, I just want to add, with the amazing work on the damage when you take to your Guardian modules and the effect on your ship, it's kind of things that you know, but then tweaking it in a way that it becomes something that you're suddenly unfamiliar with. I honestly sat there, looked at my modules and was scrolling up and down just constantly, because you can hear that kind of slight pitch bending with the audio, so it's like so familiar, but then it's just become so unfamiliar just because of the Proteus wave, and it's just really, really cool.
It's what you were talking about earlier about like a shift in the power dynamic of like, in shifting players' understanding and expectation of how to play the game. So, you know, when the Thargoids were first introduced many years ago, it was a very scary encounter, and then you couldn't do anything, and then they were given Guardian modules, and then they could really damage it, and then you got to a point where players could just drop in and they could just destroy one in like 10 seconds. I remember seeing some of that footage, and now we're shifting it back to being scary again, and I think that was part of what we tried to achieve with that, was just, you've heard all of this GUI for ages, and you've heard your Kovas, like Verity and the other ones, for ages, and now they're being sort of affected by this. There is a change in what's happening and how you understand what's happening.
And you guys worked before.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell us a bit about your how you guys met, or where your work relationship sort of thing, how it came back? Both QA?
Yeah, we were both in QA before at the same time. So yeah, it's been really, really cool to see the journeys we've both been on. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, so I started in 2017, and one of the very first things I worked on was the Thargoid content and all the damaged starports as well. It was that era. I think it was sort of the return into Beyond, I think was what it was called. And then I was there for about a year, and Sam and I worked together on that project and various projects, and then I left. and a misdelete, so I came back. So it's really like.
Oh, we're glad you're back.
Thank you. It's very serendipitous to be like join Thargoids, left, come back, Thargoids. It's like some things never change.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Sorry, Bruce, I interrupted there.
No, not at all. I was just going to read out some comments. Again, lots of praise saying thank you for all the sound effects. Someone calling out the canopy breach being a really nice sound effect, creating a cool experience. Yeah, thank you for all the kind words. But like I said before, if there's any team that gets praised just relentlessly, it's the audio.
Yeah. And I can't take sole credit for that. Like, there's a huge audio team. There's been so many people who have worked on this project over various different periods of time, you know, and everybody in the audio team is really passionate about it, and they all contribute to it, which is why I think it's as loved as it is. It's a team effort, and all of us just really trying our best to make it really great. So it's really great that people feel that, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it definitely comes across. If there's one time that in my history at Frontier sticks with me for audio, I think it's got to be the fleet carrier jumping experience from actually within the fleet carrier itself. The creaking of the carrier was really experiential, and then the actual warmth as you sort of, that was a terrible impression.
Oh,
but
one of your better ones.
as you go through the
It's pretty close.
yeah.
Can we
That's
petition
pretty
to have that instead? It was just warm.
You went all that, and then just,
Do you want to be a sound designer?
sit, all sounded now, Bruce.
I'm glad it's you guys doing the sounds, not me. But like I say, that really stuck with me, and I think the players really enjoyed that as well when it went in. So
Yeah, that was an amazing experience. I remember Joe asking for feedback from Mike and I, and we were just like, yeah, that's really good. And that was about it. That's really good.
There was a really amazing moment when we were reviewing it, actually. It was the first time we were sort of seeing all of the audio and VFX together, and we were all watching it on a video. And I promise you, everyone's sort of there waiting as the timer goes down. And as soon as the fleet carrier did the honk, everyone, you could just see everyone just smile.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a cool moment, and it's so good at kind of going, okay, we're going. And it's just the effect it has is so cool.
Here's a question. Do either of you have a favourite sound effect? Because you said you like the fleet carrier sound effect.
That's a good question.
Do either of you have a favourite, like that's the one? It may not be one you've worked on, but if there's one you have, because mine's always the honking. I love the honk when you go into a system.
it's the classic.
It's the classic. It's always been my favourite, just because I think when I played Elite, it's so distinct. Everyone did it. First thing you do, you get the system, you just and then you move on.
It's a sound that's almost synonymous with the game, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Very iconic. Good pick.
Do you have a favourite?
It's really hard to choose, but for me, just because I love the Thargoids so much, just hearing their kind of all of their calls, I think, are absolutely amazing. And the effect I think it's because of the effect it has on you, where you're suddenly like, oh, okay, it's the portal opening, and it's suddenly that sound where you're like, I'm in danger, and it just has such an effect. And it was actually really funny for the cinematic when we were testing the subtitles. Well, it was literally a test at one point. The Thargoid sound was bruh in like loads of caps and lower caps. So now that's all I hear is the bruh of the Thargoids. So there you go.
Amazing.
Strong choice.
Strong choice.
Yeah, I think honestly mine also has to be the Thargoid vocalization when it scans you, when after you go into the witch space and it knocks you out and your engines are off and it comes up and scans you. That there's just something about it. I think it's amazing, and I'm really glad that I didn't do it, so that I'm not sat here being like, isn't my work?
It's actually something I did.
It's like, to me, it will. I think it will go down as like iconic to Elite. It's like amazing, and it's scary, and it's so original, but also, you know, I used to be the audio tester of the game for over a year and a half, and it was one of those things, a testament to just not getting bored of it. Just every time you hear it, it still has that exact same impact, and usually regular exposure makes you fatigued to it. You're like, nah, I don't really care anymore. But to me, it's like the T-Rex roar in Jurassic. Like, no matter how many times you hear it, you're just like, I know exactly what that is. I know what that means.
Run.
And it's cool.
Even in quadruple figures, you're like cranking the volume. Yeah. So good.
Do either of you feel sad when one dies? Because I always think it's quite a sad noise.
It's a very mournful. Yeah, it's very long, and
makes you think about what you've done, and I think that's the point.
Yeah, but you also do. Sometimes you do it for so long. So like the fights with them can take ages, and then that's you're like, Oh no.
I sort of feel bad, but then I pick up my bonds and I'm like, do you know what?
Not so bad anymore.
I feel great.
A few more Lavian brandies, I'll be all right.
What's been your favourite sound to work on, Robin?
The favourite sound to work on? I'm not sure. I think I really like doing some of the ambiences for the Fleet Carrier internals. That was really fun. I think that's the first thing I worked on since I rejoined, and I really like doing that. Even though they're really subtle and unexciting, it just like they serve that purpose so well and convince you that you're in space. But I also did love doing the sound of the voice for Verity and all the other Kovas in the aftermath wave, of just the way it just glitches out. It just like, it's one of those things that like you kind of know you're sort of done with the sound when you either get like a tingle on your neck or you do like a little giggle, and mine is the little giggle. And I was just messing around trying to work out what it was, and I had that little giggle and I was like, okay, I think it's good because I giggled.
I was going to ask actually, when do you know that's it, that's the moment? Obviously you just answered that.
It's usually your body actually kind of subconsciously tells you, funnily enough, like, or you run out of time, but
or knocking on the door.
Yeah, it's like it's content complete in 10 minutes. You're like, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
It's your body tells you. I think you often feel like you know that's it, and it's the giggle, it's the chills, it's that moment.
So now if I walk past and I hear you having a
giggle,
I'm like, we've got a sound effect in there.
Or there's a gas leak.
Or there's a gas leak.
Nice. Right, sorry to move things along because I'm actually really enjoying the conversation, but we do have other guests that we'd also like to bring on. But before we say goodbye to you both, there was actually a sound effect that I heard recently. I can't remember where from, but I did send it over to Adam. I was hoping we could just play this, and you might be able to help me identify what this is meant to be. Robin, have you heard this before?
I'm not sure. It sounds kind of cute, playful, so it's nice.
Yeah. Okay. Not
Remains
sure
a
then.
mystery.
Yeah, it's confused me as well. I guess if we find out, we'll have to let you know. If you find out, let us know.
Yeah, if you get any clues, just let us
Yeah.
know. Maybe it's a glitch. Who knows?
Probably be too busy giggling to,
Yeah.
to tell you.
Fair enough. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and again, thank you for all the work you both do. It's
Yes.
highly appreciated by everyone in the community.
Thank
So
you as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sam. Thank you very much, Robin. Thank you to
Welcome,
all the
Michelle.
teams that you work with, and I guess chat say 07 for our guests, and they'll be back in a minute with some more guests, or something else, and then some guests.
yes, absolutely. So we're going to watch another video from Commander Eagle this time, and then we'll be introducing our next guest. So we'll catch you after this.
I've lost lock on the hyperspace terminus. So far I confirmed that the the hell is that? What the hell is that? It looks like a Thargoid, but they're bigger. Overlook, Sierra Victor India 334. I believe that I've just been intercepted by one or more of the vessels not of human origin. Markings and patterns on the vessels are strikingly Thargoid. The behavior is consistent. From yesterday's report, I was hit with some sort of shutdown field, and I believe they're trying to communicate. And all of that I've included in the feed. 334 out.
Sierra Victor, India 334, this is Overlook. You and Delta Squadron are to change course immediately to the following coordinates. Signal appears Thargoid, similar to the ones you observed yesterday. Engagement is not anticipated. Do not respond when they attempt to communicate. Apprehend if necessary using standard techniques. Once the assets have been subdued, stand by for acquisition teams. Good luck.
Overlook, Sierra Victor India 334 acknowledged. We are heading to the signal source now. We'll let the professor know that we might have her specimen very, very soon. Overlook 334. 4-3. Overlook, this is 334. We've dropped to the signal source and it's them all right. It's the big ones, and they killed the whole goddamn squadron in seconds. We didn't even make a dent. These tiny things swarmed out of each of the vessels and they cut straight through everyone. There's multiple breaches. The FSD is dead. One of the big ones is moving around for another attack. I don't think I'm gonna make it out of this one. I'm sorry, Stinson. I'm sorry.
Greetings, Commanders. Welcome back. I guess I'm here. I'm Zach, one of the other community managers on Elite Dangerous. Bruce has taken a quick break, but he'll be back later on. And I'm not the only person on the couch this time. Arthur's still here.
Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that. Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, thanks, Zach.
And speaking of, before the next guest that we're going to introduce, that video was from Commander Eagle, Commander Eagle 131. Yeah. Very narrative heavy, very much really focused on Project Seraph and the whole D2 conspiracy kind of thing. So shout out to them. I think a few different commanders worked on that. You saw it in the credits. So amazing stuff. I think
we were all jamming to the credits thinking. They were all sat there.
The countdown was on. Producer Adam was telling us we've got 5 seconds, and we're all just sort of jamming.
Just vibing to it. It's great.
Yeah,
really
awesome.
great. So, welcome back. So we do have 2 new guests with us. So they're no strangers if you've been following Frameshift Live. They've been on before, but welcome. We have the wonderful Hannah Vardy and Ben Hennessy. So welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming back. We haven't got you locked in an office today. We've got you actually in the studio, so you get the comfy couches.
Well, this couch is really nice, actually.
Well, not for you and I.
A little small.
A little bit small for us.
Me and Hannah are fine. We're quite comfortable on these.
Yeah, all right.
They work for us.
Okay, all right. So welcome back. Thanks for taking time out. It is we said before, it's quite a busy time for Elite Dangerous. So before we get started, you just want to let everyone know who you are and what you do. We'll start with Hannah.
Hi.
Hello.
I am a graduate game designer. I've been here about 8 months now, which I think has been a pretty great time to start working on Elite, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Excellent. How have you found that 8 months? You said it's been exciting. It's been a pretty busy time these last 8 months. Have you? Is it sort of in at the deep end? But it's fun, right?
Yeah, for sure. I have kind of definitely been thrown in a bit to this whole massive narrative arc that's been going on.
You got dropped in the deep end, but you've done really well with it.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say you've smashed it. Absolutely smashed it.
It's been so much fun.
Yeah, it's been great. And then obviously Ben, who are you? What do you do, sir?
Well, I'm Ben. I'm the narrative designer for Elite. So I'm very much involved in the main story beats. A lot of the cool things that have been happening in Elite recently. I've been very fortunate to be involved with.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few things happening in Elite recently.
One or two.
In your own time between you, how have you found Update 13 and the response from the community? Did you watch along with it? Were you excited, nervous, bit of both? How was it for you?
Mate, I'm having a fantastic week. It's been a lot of fun. It's just been lots of fun because we were working really hard on this update for a while now, and we knew that we had this this cool cinematic to go out. We knew that we were going to reach the end of the Asmus saga, which had been going on for like 16 months at this point. And we were just like the weeks before we were like, I can't wait for this to go out. It's going to be so good. We got out, and then we it's just been nice seeing all the feedback and hearing what people were talking about it. So
yeah. What about yourself, Hannah? Was it exciting? Were you nervous? I was nervous. I was absolutely petrified. I didn't realise how petrified I was until it actually happened. What about yourself? Were you level or not?
I would not say so. On the morning of, I was just buzzing the whole time. I don't think I got any work done. Then at lunchtime, when it came out, we all got together and watched some of the streamers. I watched Psyche and Psychit, and they were both fantastic.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun seeing their reactions, and I think, for me anyway, I joined at a time when I feel like people were not necessarily always very enthusiastic about what had been going on in Elite, so it's been really, really exciting to kind of know that this has been coming and see that it's actually been so
I think it's fair to say it's been well received, yeah. I mean, I think you just said it there, I think on the day of, there was like this collective intake of breath, just as we went down for obviously the update to go live, and there was that sort of, was it 2 hours or 3 hours? I can't remember now. I've lost track of time and space.
Yeah,
but
3 or 4.
It just felt the minute we were ready to go, there was and everyone just waited until, and then there was we had that extra half an hour, and it was like, and we had to go. But I think it's fair to say it's been well received.
Yeah, I think for you guys, it must be incredible. From, I guess, when Galnet returned, you were working on story that was somewhat limited to just Galnet articles. Then the community goals were more focused on the story, and then finally we've actually got a cinematic. How does it feel to have your story sort of portrayed in a cinematic?
I mean, it's excellent.
In that way.
I mean, like we've always tried to do a little extra where we can with a lot of the audio content that we've done over the last few years. like the Project Seraph logs and the Alexandria logs and such. But when we said that we got a chance to do a full cinematic, we were all over it. Like,
I'm not surprised.
I think the first pitch for it, the thing ended up like 7.5 minutes long. Like, we can do this and then show that and then add this. But you know, what we ended up with, I think, is it's a real testament to the hard work that the team's been doing. So I'm really pleased with it.
So we've reached. It's still strange to say this. We've reached the end of the Azimuth saga. One thing that we do want to touch on before we talk about, you know, Aftermath and the actual end itself is the journey that we've been on, and just the fact that, you know, we always say that Elite's narrative is impacted by the players, etc. Can you touch a little bit on where we might have seen some things that have changed based on player interaction, so maybe things that have happened to Aegis or anything like that?
I mean, Aegis is a good example because one of the reasons why it eventually became defunct is because we noticed over the previous year that players really didn't like him.
Yeah.
They weren't happy with the corporation at all. Like, a lot of the CGs they weren't really successful with. A lot of the player feedback was just they don't trust Aegis. They think that it's, you know, they're just palming off all their work to commanders and not doing things. So we just kind of recognised it and said, okay, well then if it's failing in its job, let's reflect that in the narrative. And you know, the Bowen report to see what was going on. The verdict was that it's not doing a job it was built to do, and that's been disbanded. And that's kind of a reflection of player input.
And in strolled good guy Salvation to just try and help out and just level the playing field a little bit, and got a bit of a rough ride from our commanders. Some of them didn't like him.
It's a surprise with a name like Salvation.
I thought it was a nice name. Fills me with confidence.
Fills me with
confidence.
It's a man who's got faith in his own abilities, right? You come out and say, "I'm humanity's salvation." Yeah. Not just like you know, I'm just, you know, pretty good.
Yeah, he had a clear goal. When he stuck to it. Yeah, he killed thousands, but ultimately he had a better plan. But
at least he did something, right?
He did, yeah. he did something. Yeah. He did something. But I mean, we've enjoyed it all the way through. But I mean, we have had stuff where I've seen both of you, sort of reacting to community efforts. I mean, Operation Witch Hunt being one of them, where there was a concerted effort by our community to, for whatever reason, try and stop Good Guy Salvation, which is now his new name. F in the chat. Yeah, it's nice to see this happen. And this is something I guess we can expect maybe a little bit more of.
I think so, definitely. I think that the challenge of a game where, you know, the player is always the centre of the story, and we have a lot of players. So that kind of the you know, blaze your own path kind of game mechanic. It can be sometimes challenging to hook a narrative that everyone is the hero of.
Yeah.
But we definitely needed to recognise that a lot of players were organising their own events. The Operation Witch Hunt is a really good example. Things like Distant Worlds, even the Fuel Rats. There comes a point where you go, okay, well, this is a big enough player effort that we need to start reflecting it from the character's perspective in the story.
It's a force in the galaxy almost.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're trying to do, and I think that's something that I'm very keen to do more of in the future. Yeah. So
I said it to Sam, but I think it was really cool that you managed to make a galactic moment personable to each commander, and that's a real trick, right? Because it's like it felt personable to me, but I was but a small part in that moment. But to me, the moment was for me. So that's I guess it's a challenge for Elite Dangerous, right? There's thousands of commanders out there doing something, blazing their own trails, but you know, to make every individual feel like a hero is a very difficult task to do.
I think I remember one of the things you were focusing on a lot was making sure that login experience, yes, you have the cinematic, but if you're in the system, you know, if you logged off in that system, you're going to have, like Arthur's saying, that sort of personal experience to feel like you were actually at the event when it happened.
There was a reason we were trying so hard to get everyone to go to the system.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone in the chat noticed we were trying very hard to get.
Yeah, it was incredible. But
we just stopped short of having Arthur on a video just going, please go to the system, please.
Well, we were worried. We had the discussion that we said we don't want to like get people there too early, and then people were sort of asking exact times. We don't want to ruin the plot or anything like that at all. I mean, people we know people were smart and stuff like that, and we're working it out, but we still want to maintain that level of, look, we'll give you the option, and the option's always there for you. You don't have to be in the system, because some commanders, quite rightly, were like, might just sit outside the system and just wait and see what happens, because I don't really want to be in there when someone lets off this massive bomb. But it's great to do, and I guess we've had this discussion that we are always learning and we're always listening, and we've loved the results of this. But there's always stuff we can take from it, and totally. Tweak here and there.
I think so. I think if we did it again, I would perhaps try and shave like a week off of the build. Mm-hmm. I think the building in HP 22460 was maybe slightly longer than the balance of
there's a risk of burning out.
Yeah, there was a lot of Thargoid killing, there was a lot of Guardian artifact collection, but I think that the players almost caught themselves up in enthusiasm of sharing stuff on social media and in the game and their teams and everything else.
Yeah.
I think the feedback that we received from it was just really nice.
Yeah. We were really impressed by how many Thargoids people managed to kill.
Well, they killed a lot. They killed a lot of Thargoids. They did not stop killing Thargoids. However, interesting fact, our very own Paul, who likes to do this sort of stuff, he was asking about how many commanders have since died in the system. So not died, have been destroyed. Their ships have been destroyed in the system post the Azimuth finale, and it's something like 6,800 or something.
I think we might have the number later, but it is around.
It's around that. So the tide in that system may have switched considerably in the Thargoids' favour. They are not overly happy. But
quick shout out actually to the group who did a Dunkirk level rescue mission to the guys who tried to escape on the surface of a planet. Yeah. And the Thargoids followed them down there. And it was like a rescue effort. That was really good to see and really fun.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the Proteus wave and everything that happened, we're not in the Azimuth saga anymore. We're in the Aftermath. So, I guess first question: why the name Aftermath? It's a bit obvious, but is there any reason why we decided on the name?
So, I mean, we're now in the aftermath of the Proteus wave project. So Salvation's big plan was that the Proteus wave was going to end the war, was going to win the war for humanity, drive the Thargoids away. And the superpowers had all kind of collectively thrown their lot in with this and go, okay, well, it's worked several times up to now, very effectively. Let's just go in for it. They sent their fleets into the system to protect the weapon. And now it hasn't worked. Now they're scrambling for a plan B. And there's a little bit of, the three superpowers, they're very much like, what do we do next? Do we still collaborate? Do we draw back into ourselves? Do we need to work together? Do we need to compete for resources to defend ourselves? It's just a bit of a scramble. So we're just going to see what happens in this next phase.
Yeah.
I feel like the word aftermath kind of implies maybe further reaching effects than were originally intended. So.
Yes, I think that's true.
I think the whole Battle of HIP 22460 feels a lot like the Ali Foreman fight, where we're sort of winning. It's just going really well here. It's all going okay, and then suddenly out of nowhere, bam, we've been hit, and no one really knows. Like, humanity is now like, what do we do? And whilst we're trying to work out what we're doing, I don't think our opponent is unsure what they're doing. I'm fairly certain they've got a plan, and we're like, we haven't thought beyond this point. We should be having cake right now. There should be cake and balloons. There's no cake and balloons. There's just death and destruction everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, not to give us spoilers, but the Thargoids aren't sitting in that system thinking to themselves, "Oh, well, that was nice." There's an agenda there, and we're going to find out what it is.
Yeah, and they're actually still in the system, which is relatively unusual for after a Thargoid attack or what. They tend to go back to wherever they came from.
I feel like we can kind of say like the system, has fallen. I think Sam said something like that. And
it's very good. It's very accurate.
Yeah, it's a very frightening situation. They're so close to the sort of the bubble. They're just in this system now. Just if you go in there, it's chaos.
But it is genuine chaos. I mean, from a player's perspective, as I said, I went in. They hunt you now. They don't. They're not curious. They know exactly when you turn up. They don't want you there. They will attack you. They will hound you. They will call for reinforcements. You can run and hide on the planet. They will come to the planet. They are not scared of you, and they are a little bit rolled up. So we're only 3 days post Azimuth finale.
Yep.
And I'm not going to give away too much of what's coming. But obviously it's nice to see players discovering some of the stuff that we thought would take them a little bit longer, but they are starting to find little bits and bobs
It's
that have
rumoured.
changed in the galaxy, and they're like, oh, this seems different.
It's rumoured that a few discoveries have been made.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to see if that goes anywhere.
Yeah.
But,
Who knows?
but yeah.
Who knows what happened?
So, in terms of Aftermath, then, if we're somewhat comparing it to the Azimuth saga, is this in your head? Is it a small sort of follow-up, or is it another big phase, or what should we expect from Aftermath in general? No spoilers, obviously.
Oh, no spoilers. It's going to be hard to answer the question.
I'm going to tell him everything.
Well, I feel like for now, we can kind of enjoy being beaten up by some Thargoids. There's what's going on in HIP 22460 still. That's going to keep being scary.
Yeah, it will.
But we're definitely going to have to see what happens after that. I feel like it's not the end of the Thargoid plan.
Certainly not. And I think it's as the people who have been looking for, testing things here and there, it's actually really good to see is that people are starting to go back to places like the systems where historically previous discoveries have been made and just toying around and seeing what they can find out. I think people who are doing that, we're hoping that more discoveries will be found, and that the people who are really getting into the real science behind it, that eventually, they may stumble across something.
And that's a really good point, actually, because I think one of the things I think you've been exceptional at is understanding the dedication of our players to find stuff and investigate stuff. And I think the great stuff about what I think a lot of players will start to understand with this particular new narrative that's coming in now is that it's not, I don't think we ever have actually, we won't spoon feed anything. No. There's stuff out there, you can find it, you can be the first to find it, and sometimes it can be, a million light years away, sometimes it can be, somewhere else, who knows, but it's there for you, but we won't spoon feed it to you. And I think the way you've done it is absolutely exceptional. I think everyone has really enjoyed the Azimuth saga. If I was to ask you probably one of our final questions, how excited are you for what comes next?
I'm not that fast. Yeah. Obviously, I'm really excited. There's a lot of really good ideas kicking around. It's as the previous guest said, this is very much a team effort, and there's a really dedicated team working on it with a lot of good ideas. And when we hit on something that's going to come in one update, two update, 3 this time, we really do get enthusiastic about what we're bringing out. So there's still more to come in this update cycle. I'm very, very, just as was with waiting for the cinematic to launch, I'm very, very excited to see what happens next.
Awesome. And Hannah, same sentiment, or are you as non-pulsed as Ben?
Yeah, no, definitely the same sort of sentiment. We've got some hard work to do, but it should hopefully be just as exciting as what's just happened.
Well, I'm excited.
The feedback we get from the community is contagious.
Yeah.
Like watching those reactions live to Tuesday's update, and seeing people experience things for the first times and the changes in Thargoid behaviour. Like I said at the start, man, it's just been a fun week.
That's kind of like a positive feedback loop for us.
It's just nice watching people say it.
Yeah.
Happier we hear people are, the more excited we are to keep giving them stuff.
It's a genuine buzz at the moment, like from everyone, and it's great. It's just reciprocal buzz, right? That we're happy, the players happy, that we're happy. So it's great that we feed on it, and they feed on your energy. So
players are happy that humanity is not happy.
Do you know what? Bizarrely, I've seen so many players say that they're happy that they've been murdered by Thargoids for the first time. And I'm like, are you sure? No, I've died 7 times. I'm really happy about it. I'm like, well, okay. Glad you are. Right, okay. I think that's probably the last question we have on that. So,
we could segue it pretty nicely, actually.
Oh, I'll let you do your segue.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of very nice community reactions, first of all, thank you to Ben and Hannah for joining us. So please, all 7s in the chat for Ben and Hannah. So speaking of, positive reactions from the community, I think the next video we've got to show to you is a little compilation of some Twitch streamers' reactions to the Azimuth finale. So as we get ourselves ready and get, I think we're going to get Bruce back on, maybe Sally, maybe, we'll play that video for you now. So enjoy, and thank you once again to Ben and Hannah for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, I want to
Oh my god!
All systems offline. Engineering. We need power now.
Debated!
All crew.
Wait. I'm picking up an energy surge near... No,
Let
from the Proteus wave site. Thargoid markers, but amplified past anything I
Shut the
see.
weapon down now.
I've been established.
Thrusters offline. What just happened? Report.
They're alive!
Controls are not responsive. All systems offline. We need power. They did it.
Wait.
This
I'm
is
picking up an energy surge near... No, from the Proteus wave site. Thargoid markers, but amplified past anything I
Shut the
see.
weapon down now.
They woke something up. Oh, they woke something up.
Warning. Thrusters offline. What just happened? Report.
They didn't do it.
The Thargoids! They're... The Proteus wave has been successfully deployed.
Analyzing Thargoid vessels. No life signs. And the rest of the Thargoid fleet. Similar reports from across the system. They're shutting down. We finally did it.
Wait. I'm picking up an energy surge near... No, from the Proteus wave site. Thargoid markers, but...
Oh, Flossie, are
Yeah,
you there?
I am, yes.
That's going to leave a mark.
Isn't this?
That is not going to buff out. Oh dear. Right. Okay. Well, I seem to be here.
Okay, that's whoa. This is badass. Look at this. Oh. Uh-oh. Nah, yeah. What do you expect?
I mean, you got our intro back, Bruce.
Oh, we're live, are we?
We are live, Bruce. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Welcome back, everyone. So nice to share the Twitch streamer reactions to the live event as it happened. Like Hannah and Ben said, we were watching it here in the studio live with everyone at the same time and really enjoyed it as well. So yeah, nice to see those reactions.
Yes, it was nice. I mean, I watched it every time I watched it. I actually watched it with Sally earlier on, and I actually said, look at my arm, and I still had goosebumps, and all the hairs on my arm raised up just going through it again. So it's done a great job. It's nice to see so many people enjoyed that, and I'm sure there's way more we haven't captured. Like I've seen lots and lots and lots, and I was very lucky to be present at some streams where some things were being discovered live, and it was really cool to see the excitement. It's just infectious. It's just infectious. Cool. But we are just back here on our own.
No.
We have the team is with us. So if we go to what is it called, the wide shot?
The longer camera.
The longer camera now. We're going to go to the longer camera. And we welcome 07. I'm still joined with Zach, and obviously the wonderful Sally has joined us. Welcome, Sally. So I'm sat between, obviously, Zach and Bruce, like a rose between two thorns. I am sat,
Of course.
sat here. So, but welcome everyone. Look, you're my team. How have you all found Update 13?
Busy. Busy but very exciting.
Brilliant.
It's been so awesome to see.
Absolutely brilliant. Oh God, I'm still, like you were saying with the player reactions, I have to keep watching Boss Lady B over and over because I kept crying when she was crying. I was like, oh no.
You were quite hyper, Sally, on the
it's
day.
so
You were bouncing off walls and messages were pinging everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember actually we were all watching, like you say, multiple streamers, but there was a time when Paul, myself and Sally were all on Psychit's chat.
Oh yeah.
And Paul, Paul and I were trying to listen to what Psychit was saying, but Sally was just giggling with excitement. We had to say, because we were in a call at the same time.
And I was there going,
But yeah, really big hype, and we just loved sharing that moment with everyone. Really, really enjoyable.
Yeah, it's been wonderful for the team and I to see everyone's reactions to 13.
Yeah.
Obviously, we knew it was coming for a little while, and it's very hard for us to not say anything or allude to anything that might be coming, and still to do the same with what might be coming in the future, which we'll talk about very, very briefly in a moment. Yeah, it's great, and it's great actually from our point of view to see everyone in the community so happy, so pumped, so buzzed, and I've said it in my own post, and I generally feel like we're just really getting started now, and we've got a lot of fun things planned.
Yeah.
So we hope you're along for the ride and you'll stay with us. But enough of us gushing about stuff, because we could gush for ages. But Bruce, what's next on the list? It says the title here says the future.
Yeah, so a lot of this was actually covered in the previous interviews that we've had with our guests, but the idea of this was just to talk a little bit about where we are now that the Azimuth saga has concluded.
Yes.
But Zach did a great job of talking about Aftermath with Ben and Hannah earlier, so most of it's actually been covered. One thing that we did just want to shout out is that we had, I don't know if we gave this stat earlier, but over 7,500 commanders were actually in system at the time that it all happened, which was just an amazing turnout.
Stat, which I think it said 7,800 plus in that one system.
Awesome.
When it went live, and there was a lot of players online that day for the actual event. So kudos to all the players. And I did mention later on, I think it's the 6,800. I think there might be a social post going out.
The chat is saying that 90% died.
Yeah. You're welcome. But there was a lot of players that were smart and be like, we're going to hang around outside the system.
Yeah.
I think, and again, and this probably goes back to what I was saying earlier on, or what we've all said, is I think it was the surprise of the cutscene, then the surprise they were in the system and seeing it sort of live, and then it was just like, oh, they're Stargoids. Oh, I was fine. I'll just fight them. And then oh, hang on a minute.
My weapon's dead.
Nothing works.
I can't do anything.
And it was that rolling surprise that I really enjoyed. I really, really enjoyed that much. And I think that may have contributed to some of the...
There was that, but also, now, obviously we've just met them. We know that the narrative team are lovely people. But my understanding is that it was something like the login experience post-cinematic was deliberately made such that if you were reading the in-game message about what had happened to the system, it was written to be just about long enough that by the time you were at the end but not quite finished, the Thargoid would then come in.
That's a really cool anecdote. That is very true. Yeah, props to all of them for doing that. It's quite sinister, but it genuinely added to that moment. I think it genuinely added to that moment.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's great. Really cool.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so I think that's everything that sort of happened. I mean, we are in Aftermath now. Yes, there is a plan for Aftermath. Some really cool stuff. No, I'm not going to tell you what it is. The same way I didn't tell you about Update 13, what was coming. We don't want to spoil anything. But the team that are working on Elite Dangerous are super dedicated. They're super pumped. We're super excited. We're going to bring you along for this ride, and we just hope you stay with us. And that's pretty much all we're going to say about it. We will probably tease you like we always tease you.
You will.
I will. Yeah. We will probably try and we'll try and guide you as to where, if we think you need to be anywhere, we will do that sort of stuff for you, of course. But it's nice to see the community as excited as we are.
Yeah.
And you have every right to be, and you should be. But I guess that's all of that stuff in a nutshell. In the first, I'm conscious of time. We've done an hour and 20, so we should probably move on to other bits and bobs. Obviously, Update 13 has gone live, and there's lots of stuff that's still on the horizon, sort of just outside of that. I know two of the big things we're looking at the moment, and a lot of people are asking about are the sort of soft transition that we're talking about. We will have more details on that. We have put a post out, so the idea is allowing Horizons players access to the 4.0 sort of Odyssey engine. But when we have all the details, we are taking your questions. We are listening, and we're feeding it in. It's quite a complex thing that the development team are attempting to do here, just to make sure that you want to have access to certain things and it doesn't break other things. And that's my dev speak, so that's why I'm not a developer. But it's very, very complex. It's not just a tick button. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. When we have those answers, we'll put them out. But of course, we just want to make sure we've got the right answers first before we do that. And the next question, of course, is the transfer of console players to PC, and that's still scheduled for very early September. And when we have an exact date, we will let you know. But it's in testing. We're testing it internally at the moment. When we have more information to share on that, we will pass it on and we'll give you the full details. And then how that links in with stuff like narrative Because I know we've been very clear in saying that the narrative is built on the 4.0 engine and etc. And people are worried they're going to miss out on the start of the new narrative. We've paced it in such a way that we've got time, so we're not going to leave anyone behind. We'll give you the time to get across if you can get across, etc. So we are being very careful about making sure we try and bring as many commanders with us as possible. So that kind of covers off, I guess, the portal and then the soft transition. Again, we'll keep you updated as we have the information. But there we go. Okay, so what's next on the list? Brucey, Woosey, Goosey, Lucy, Juicy.
Brucey, Lucy, Goosey, Juicy is my father's name.
Ah, sorry, Junior. The third.
So yeah, that's actually all of the game newsy bits that we had to share today. We've got some community bits that we'd like to go through, so we're going to do that right now.
Yes, okay, no worries.
So the first thing was actually alluded to a little bit earlier on. I think Ben mentioned some research that's been going on. So Update 13 didn't just include the cinematic and the login experience to do with the Azimuth finale. Obviously it included lots of other improvements and changes as well, and I'd encourage you to check out the patch notes. There's actually a lengthy list of stuff that's gone in.
Compiled by our very own Sally, who does our patch notes queen.
Oh, you.
And in addition to that even, there's some other narrative stuff that was less, how do we put it?
Obvious?
Less in the spotlight, less in the center of frame. And we alluded to some scientific research going on, and we just want to give a shout out especially to Commander Kralone. How would you reckon?
I would say you said it perfectly twice.
I mean, I said it differently each time, I'm sure. Shout out to them for having a scientific breakthrough in relation to Guardian relics. So we won't say more about that in terms of what they achieved or what they did. You might have heard about it already from various content creator videos or somewhere else online. But in case you're doing your own research and haven't been sort of quote unquote spoiled for that bit yet, they discovered something about the Guardian relics, and they were the very first to do so. So if you are interested, you should maybe check those out for yourself as well.
And then next up, so this is Super Chicken, and the I love that name, Super Chicken, and the Starlight Children's Foundation charity stream. So Super Chicken hosted a charity stream for the wonderful charity, which I think we shouted out as well pre-stream, with the support of a number of streamers, and I believe even Dr. K. Russ was on there, which is great to see, and then raising in excess of $10,000. So kudos to everyone involved in that. Well done. That's a very polite clap, team. Well,
we're very conscious of our microphones,
start clicking fingers. Zach, could you do the above us is the thing actually that I think is being awarded, and I have the details. On the shelf above us is the. You just about see it. The display.
The display.
Yeah, the display. Yeah. You can't. It's slightly out of shot, but it is there. I will be getting that into the post. I say I'm going to give it to Bruce to do because Bruce loves posting stuff. And that will be going out to the winner of the display from the charity stream. But well done to everyone, Super Chicken, all the content creators that helped raise such a huge sum of money for such a wonderful charity. And that's, again, another indicator of how wonderful our community is. Yeah. And always doing stuff like this and always consistently raising so much money. So well done.
Just a quick shout out to Mortal Moto, in case it's your first time on the stream, saying you're not going to have enough time to get all the drops. So we'll have another stream in 2 weeks from now. So Frameshift Live is every fortnight, usually for about 2 hours a pop. So that's more than enough time to get the purple pack, if those are the ones you're talking about, because it's an hour and 15 to get all of those. And the seasonal paint jobs you'll get after 15 minutes for
easy
each
peasy.
show. So that should not be a problem.
Easy peasy.
So yeah, if you've only just joined us and you're not going to pick them all up today, tune in for the next episode.
There you go. Cool. I think you're on the next one, but this really feels like oh no, this isn't the one. I thought this was the Anaconda and Lego build. I did see it and I thought immediately of Zach.
Zach has an average Lego.
You haven't had much, but I'll have to send you a link. Someone put a Lego build for an Anaconda.
Yeah,
it's like an older one from Reddit, and so chat will probably help me out. But I did see it on Twitter, and I almost was like cries in Zach when he sees it, because it's just like this has got Zach screaming all over it. But it was a really cool Lego build.
I love Elite Lego.
Elite Lego. But this isn't that, is it? This is something else.
This is something else. So I'm going to ask chat before saying what it is. If we can post this, it was shared on Reddit by _4Vic. II or 11. If producer Adam can make that appear magically on screen, here it is.
Yeah.
Here's that. What do you make of this? I'm going to ask chat what they reckon this is.
Can I give my verdict? Looks like a banana peel.
Banana peel. Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Nice.
Banana peel.
Sally, any thoughts on what this might be?
The first thing I thought of was one of those manta rays. Is that?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I can see that.
but
Yeah,
an
yeah,
orange
okay.
one.
Orange manta ray.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bruce, what vibes are you getting from that?
Someone's slippers being thrown down into like a hole in the ground.
What?
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Slippers?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, no, okay. Well, maybe.
On your feet?
Bold choice of slipper.
I mean,
they're definitely out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully it feels like a Rorschach test. My inner psyche is being scrutinised.
Oh God, yeah.
What do you see?
Well, if it's a Rorschach test, it tells me I see a churro in space. I see a churro, a twisted churro. Look, that tells you everything you need to know about me, really. That's a very simple Rorschach test to me.
Like a churro.
Okay, so for anyone in chat, hopefully you got this. So yeah, like I say, user_4vic11_ on Reddit asked an AI to create an image with the following cue, which was Elite Dangerous Anaconda in front of Sagittarius A. So if you got that, 5 points.
5 meaningless points that you can spend absolutely nowhere. And again, no prizes whatsoever, but you do get some kudos from Bruce.
We've got flying pizza and a Pringles can.
I saw a moustache go past.
Are you hungry?
Yeah, I think it's making me hungry. That's interesting. So that's cool. I'd actually like to see it as a recurring theme, actually, like the AI.
So it's all the rage right now, isn't it? Getting AI to draw things.
Yeah, I've seen this, but I don't know why, because it is nothing like we've asked it to draw.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the AI overlords if this is what they're coming up with.
I suppose. I mean, Black Hole, I think it did fairly well. It's the ship maybe where it struggled.
I think it was the name of the ship.
It was trying to put a snake, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it got stuck because it thought Anaconda is a snake. I'll stick it in there. Yeah, but it could, it's AI, right? Could have gone into the interwebs.
Yeah.
Could have found out it meant Elite Dangerous.
Fool on them. Fool on the AI.
Yeah, could have done
I'll tell you who has done their research and taken some really good images.
Nice segue.
Well done, mate.
That has got to be the slickest segue. Well done. Yeah, well done, mate. Yeah, well done.
And those are our stellar screenshot winners for the week.
Wow.
Beautifully done. Gosh, he's done this
Would we
before.
like to share our very first
Have you seen that clip
image
of the gorilla that comes out and slides and turns its back to the glass?
Oh.
That was literally, that was as slick as that, Bruce. That was literally, I can segue like no other.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Producer Adam, if we could show the very first image.
Adam's. He's lost the plot. He's going rogue. No, he's back. Get him back in. He's fine. He's all right. Settle down, Adam. Settle down. Who gave him the M&Ms and Smarties? I told you, no sweets till after the show.
He's got a can of Fanta on there.
Oh, he has. That's what it is then. See,
sugar, isn't it?
Full of sugar.
Yeah.
Told you before. None before bedtime. Right. Okay. Right. So the first shot is from Boss Lady B. And this is a great shot. I mean, we're going to see a lot of this, I suspect.
Yes, I imagine the theme of the week is going to be this zone, this area in HIP 22460. But this is a superbly cool shot.
Now, I can't work out the ship. At first, do you know, it's an eagle, isn't it?
Yes.
But when I only saw it, I could just see the body part of the eagle. And I thought, it's a python. And then, I can see wings. So yeah, it's a really cool shot. Again, I'd imagine just moments before death. So Paul's having a lot of fun, by the way. Paul is about, by the way. He's behind the scenes doing stuff. And a shout out to Paul, and also shout out to all the mods that are in chat as well. As always, thank you so much for your support in all the different areas. But this is a really cool shot. The star in the background coming over the ring well behind us, and then obviously the Thargoid doesn't look that angry there.
Speaking of Paul, I know we talked earlier about our reactions to the event itself, and we were all on the call and everything.
Yeah.
You know how most people just laugh like a normal person? Paul's default laugh is like the theatrical evil laugh that you get in like old movies.
Yeah, he was. I mean, we were like, oh, Paul, you're generally loving this.
He's got a brilliant lighting setup at the minute as well, hasn't he? Where he looks like, you know, that Queen Bohemian Rhapsody. He's lit like here, and he's going like you say. He's like, it's like flipping out. Paul, he's
genuinely loving it. Genuinely loving it. When he's making some of the assets as well, he's like, I get to set a world on fire. This is amazing. I love doing this. I'm like, Paul, I'm actually worried about you. I'm glad Paul's a friend.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Someone you want on your side.
Yes. Yeah. So next slide, please. It's a crate. Commander Braddock.
You love this one.
I do love a crate. I do. This is Commander Braddock. Again, this is moving away from the obviously looks like the Proteus website. Thargoid's in a hot pursuit. We're going to see a lot of this. It's a great shot again. a lot of drama in these shots, I think.
Yeah, some cool lens flare in this one as
I was
well.
going to say that, very JJ, isn't it?
Yeah, very JJ, yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah. A next shot, please. This is cool. This is cool. I can't make out the
thrusters. Looks like
Is
it a D?
Well,
My
I
initial
thought it was
impression was a DBX.
I think it is a DBX. It's weird.
I can't tell.
Is it the camera lens doing the wide angle lens?
We need to get at least
the long
one
lens.
ship
What's this
wrong
lens called?
Yeah.
While we're
I
on.
don't know what the long lens is called.
Yeah, the longer
Scout.
lens, the longer wide lens.
Scout? DBX?
DBX. Yeah, I think it's DBX. Look at the sort of slightly wings on the sides. I think it's DBX.
Some people saying Scout. There's
Mixed
a fight
crew.
in the chat.
Oh no, I'm sticking with DBX in this.
All right.
But that's a great shot of the actual effect, which is
We-
still there in the game
I
to
was
see.
going to say, me and you went past it last night, didn't we? We were doing a little bit of flying around and just taking snaps, and
Yeah.
I was just like, can't look away, off, go back again, go back again.
We're going to die, Sally.
Yeah, I was
So
like,
but
no,
I
we
need
need to
another
do another
picture.
one.
I mean, and again, shout out to all of the photographers in Elite Dangerous at the moment, because it must be like, to get this is literally taking your ship into death. And if you're only in the game of photography and you haven't really got yourself an AX ship, you're literally like, you've got 40 seconds, take your
why we
shot,
go out
jump
in
out.
yours.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, mate. Cheers, pal. Yeah. The pink wafer is safely tucked away.
Not
Safely
taking
tucked
anywhere
away.
near there, yeah.
Kind of like the idea of dangerous photography, though. It's
Dangerous.
cool.
Yeah. That's cool. All right, our next one. So good shot, Commander Listron.
Excellent.
Nailed it. Next one, we have yet another crate. Amazing. In a debris field.
You're just upset it's the crate that's not the debris, isn't it?
I am. Do you know what makes me really sad? If you go to the I think it's the FNS debris field, there's lots of snapped chieftains who flew through, didn't we?
Yes,
And I
that's
got very
right.
sad.
Oh, you did, because I was like trying not to let it get to you off, like hold it together.
It was awful. It was awful. I was not happy being there. So I was like,
Unfortunately, the inferior ship, right? And that's just what happens.
I've never
They
liked
break
him.
more easily, don't they?
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. This is a really cool shot, actually. The rings in the background. I think that's the debris field we went to, actually, Sally. This is the huge debris field, I think. Yeah, we went everywhere. Yeah, so well done, Commander Grover Kiwi. Well done. So this is the light is on the screen, which is really difficult to see for us. But this looks like the Thargon scavenger, right?
Yeah.
So I can't see the rest of it, though, unfortunately.
We've got an SRV on the right.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I can't see that. Yeah, I have to move the light. There's two scavengers. So one there, one there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
right.
Yeah, I can't quite. It's very hard for us to see. It looks like a great close-up shot of the scavenger.
I'm
Doing
just trying to
something.
work. So the perspective is throwing me off here.
Yeah.
How close?
So there's ground on the right, but it looks like we're looking down sort of a mountain.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
no. It's flat. What we're seeing in the background, I think, is like a vertical mountain. You see bits of sky.
Oh,
creeping in the top.
yes.
I think that's the way the image is.
All right, okay. Yeah.
But
So well
yes.
done for confusing us, Commander Pariah Vivalis. Well done. Good shot. I did see this shot. This is really cool.
Oh,
That's
this is
cool.
cool.
If ever a shot screams "run away"
Yeah.
more loudly than it's this shot, run away. So there's obviously the Thargoid EMP device or shutdown wave going off in the distance. There's a beautiful scarab. Love that paint job.
Yeah, it's very
Hang on, that's a scorpion.
heavy machinery.
Scorpion. Yeah. But yeah, it may be armed and dangerous, but it's not dangerous enough to take on
No.
a Thargoid. And this. I want to see more of this. Actually,
Yeah.
I want to see.
That's an interesting concept. I've not actually seen a player take on a Thargoid with a Scorpion yet.
Well, now you've said it.
I mean, now you've said
The
it.
gauntlet's been thrown.
Yeah,
I'd
maybe
love-
it's been done.
I would love to see commanders. How many Scorpions
I was
does
going
it
to say
take
that, like, yeah.
to
get
take
a
down
group
a?
together.
I don't know if you'd even be able to do it. You know, I think even an interceptor would chew through quite a few
Yeah.
Maybe.
Scorpions.
We'll have to see. Someone will chat. Let us know if you've done it already.
Yeah.
Let us know if that's been done, chat. If not,
There's
make
a
it
task.
happen.
There's a task. I tried Scorpion versus Thargoid. I think the fact that it says "I tried" is enough
Yeah.
to tell you that it didn't work out as well as you'd
Yeah.
hoped it would have done. But good effort for trying.
Yeah.
They out-heal the damage because it's a normal. It's not like
It's not
an
AX weapons.
Yeah.
what I'm hearing
Yeah.
is we need
Yeah.
AX weapons on the Scorpion.
Yeah,
That's
we
a
need some
good
AX.
idea.
That's a
I
good
see.
shout.
Oh,
good
no.
idea.
All right, okay. All right. So well done, Commander Rufio. Nice work. This is cool. This feels like someone's giving it back Having some back to the old Thargoids, taking out a heart. It looks like it's a great shot there to time it at that moment in time. Really cool shot here. I can't quite make out the ship, sadly, from where I am. It's a
Python, isn't it?
I can't see because there's a light. Genuinely, chat. There's a light up here that's right in my face. There's a light right here, right in my face. So it looks like, for me, it looks like it is a Python. Yeah, really cool, really cool shot. I'm assuming, I won't assume anything. It looks like they're slightly up, so I'm going to say gimbaled, but it won't be gimbaled to target a heart. So it's a good shot, good shooting.
Darren's in the chat, and he was reacting to us saying that we wanted AX weapons on.
Oh, what was his reaction?
His reaction was to hide.
Okay.
Stop being on holiday, Darren. Stop being on holiday. There's notes. We've got notes for you, mate. Yeah. So hurry up. This one's great from Commander St. Julian. Don't have to ask them what the last thing it was they saw before their commander perished. Yeah. It's quite clearly this is what they saw. This is a wonderfully detailed shot, though.
So cool.
Really cool.
But I loved one thing I do love about the Thargoids, and just hearing everyone speak about how every element complements everything else. So like how sound design complements the physical design of the ship. Like that ship is exactly what I expect that thing to sound like, and vice versa. Like if I heard the sound, that's what I expect to see. I see that, I'd expect it to sound that way. It's such a beautifully designed.
I'm laughing because of the reference to the oboe and the saxophone. Somebody in chat made me that said Thargoid jazz.
Oh, I heard you saw it playing in the background.
And I was like, just imagine this album coming out. It's just like a Thargoid like that on the front with a little.
Oh, what's the jazz one where they just keep playing jazz phrases? That GIF, be that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right, well done, Commander St. Julian. We've got 2 more to go. So what's the next one we've got? Again, brave Commander here, giving them some plasma, giving them some good news. I think literally as they're about to be immolated.
It looks like the Thargoid's just investigating what's going on.
He just wants to look.
Not too worried by the commander on foot right now.
I reckon the 1v1 is about 50-50 odds here.
Sure.
50-50.
Commander Woolies is prepped and ready.
Yeah.
Looks like a person of action to me.
Yeah, I mean they've got the plasma on the go. I can see this going.
It's like an Independence Day. It's like driving straight into the.
You may as well be holding a board at this point, being like, like we come in peace. But well done, Commander Woolies. Again, very dangerous photo, but absolutely worth it. Congratulations on being one of the 6 winners. It's a really cool shot. And last but by no means least, we have. So here we go. This is another cool shot. So Commander Zork mid.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Yeah. Nicely done.
So I think, I'm not sure if it is the Ardius Dream, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's the Imperial capital ship. None of the flagships made it out of the engagement in HIP, HIP 22460.
And I love the ambience around there as well now. I like all of the green and the fog and the, like you say, the debris. Is eerie. Like everyone says it is scary. It's flipping eerie.
I also like when we notice this, Sally, when we're flying around, the Thargoids obviously come to attack you, but they generally don't see you as a threat. They're like, we'll pop in, maybe 2 Thargoids will come to attack you with some interceptors, another Thargoid will pop in and just start doing its thing. Just like, you're going to die. I'm going to go and collect up these things out here. They generally are just like, you've made a mistake. You've made a terrible mistake coming here.
It's like they watch you. It's like they stalk you.
Yeah.
Because we're there going, I can hear it. I can hear it. And it's not running in on you. Like, it's not like, And I don't know. It's like, they're watching.
Yeah.
And I love that. They don't just like.
Yeah, it's really cool.
There.
Really cool. Right, okay. I think that was the last of the Stellar screenshots. So, unless I'm incorrect, Bruce?
Yeah, I think that was the last one. So, again, congratulations and thank you to everyone who sent images in. If you won't pick this time, please keep sending them in. We love seeing your entries. If you haven't submitted a screenshot before, then we celebrate these every week on a Wednesday. We go through the submissions. You can do that via Twitter, Facebook and the forums where we post. So the forum thread I think is just an evergreen one that will always be up. But we post every Wednesday, like I said, on Twitter and Facebook.
You got this, Bruce.
In the comments, in the replies there.
It's above us as well. So don't worry. Bruce has found a new thing to fall over on. Don't worry. You've mastered Twitch drops It's now stellar screenshots, and I believe in you, Bruce. Next time,
eventually, I'm going to have one stream where it's seamless, and you'll be sorry.
I mean, I will just be thankful that you've done a stream.
Post your screenshots in the comments on those threads. If you get picked, you'll be featured in one of our streams, or if it's on the off week, you'll still get a paint job as a reward. So please do submit as always.
All right. So do you want to recap the stream?
Yeah, sure. I think if there's one thing we haven't done, it's actually mentioned some of the changes in the update itself. Obviously, Sally, you put together a really long list of patch notes, so thank you for doing that. You sorted through all the changes that went in. You can find those guys on the website on elitedangerous.com and the news section.
News section, yes.
But we actually had a list of some of the most notable ones that we wanted to call out, so we'll do that. Because obviously with the finale that went out, that kind of took the spotlight somewhat.
A little bit.
But a lot of work has gone into the update besides that as well, and just to make sure you're all aware of everything that's happened, we'd encourage you to check through those patch notes. So in terms of features, obviously the finale that I just mentioned went into the game, as well as the brand new cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
You may have noticed that Thargoids are more aggressive in that system, given that the weapon has failed. And in terms of notable fixes, so we've got some improved stability around points of interest and surface settlements. This was because, so we had to add a little bit of stability there, specifically because players were experiencing some stability issues in POIs, particularly, as well as surface settlements. They're doing this actually required a client-side fix, so we had to wait for update 13. We were aware of the issue for a little while, but it basically needed a point update to happen. So thank you for being patient on that. We're aware that some players were unable to access CQC for a little while. That should also be fixed. Let us know if you have problems still. Another problem was fixed where you couldn't access ship functions or panels while station services were open. We've made improvements to ship models to allow different paint job visuals to show as they're meant to. Covert theft missions failing to count towards Terravella Squez's prerequisite, that's the engineer, has been fixed, as well as an issue where Guardian Sentinels were failing to fire their missiles. And then lastly, there was an issue with the crash reporter tool.
Which was ironic.
Great one,
Which was ironic. We know.
Yeah.
Which has also been resolved. So we'll be looking at that stuff a bit more keenly and accurately now. So thank you again for being patient with all of that. For a list of all of the issues that were fixed, because like I say, there was a long list of them, do check out Sally's patch notes, as I've said, on the website.
Or you can do exclamation mark update 13. It says there on your notes.
Oh no, I might have made that up.
Oh. Or not.
I don't know.
Not. Maybe not. Try it out, see what happens. Maybe nothing happens.
I'm sure one of the mods might be able to post that in the
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Type exclamation update into the chat and one of our mods will post the link.
Yes. On demand. No, not on demand.
No, they won't. Also, I'm going to call out, I didn't want to interrupt you there as you were going through the patch notes, but you definitely had a note that said, Thargoids are mad now.
Yeah, those were the words in my show notes.
Thargoids are mad.
Furious.
Furious, really, really cross. Thank you very much for that recap and on the notes. Like I say, it's been a bit of a week. So obviously, other things to recap on. Obviously, update 13 dropped on Tuesday. We had the conclusion of the Azimuth Saga. If you're in HIP 22460, you got to see quite a unique experience for yourself, depending on where you were based. We've obviously had the start of Aftermath, which has now come in. We've obviously talked about, we haven't talked in depth actually about the Twitch drops that were some of our selected sort of streamers were looking at. So you may or may not have noticed that over that period of time, there was, I think it was 14 streamers had access to Twitch drops, and some YouTube and some of our creators like YouTube and some of the people who do podcasts and such had skins to give away. This is very much us just testing out the functionality for our partner program, which we have mentioned in the past. It isn't quite live yet. Unfortunately, we're having some teething problems behind the scenes with some of the bits and bobs. It will be going live very, very shortly, but this is just a test case for it and a very good test case for it. So there'll be more of that to come in the future. It doesn't mean that the people that are on it now are solely exclusive to it, and we will be opening this up to more creators as time goes on. So please don't think that the creators that are on it now are the only creators that will be doing it in the future. That's not our intention. Our intention is to grow that program and then grow everyone along with it. So eyes on the prize for that one. We're still looking at that. There's lots of stuff planned behind it. So we are working on it. Hopefully we'll have some news on that soon. It's something very dear to our heart, and we will get that across to you as soon as possible. But if you were watching any of the streamers, you did get a chance to win. I think it was the
the Azimuth Ruthless.
Ruthless, that was it.
Yeah, on the FDL, the Eagle, and the
it was
crate.
a crate. Of course, it was a crate.
Yeah.
Of course, yes.
Of course, it was a crate.
What other ship could it be? You know, maybe the Crate Phantom.
Yeah, any other ship. But yeah, so that was great. So it was great to see that. It's great to see all the content that people were putting out. There's some great shows that there's, as always, to check out. So if you get a chance to watch any of the videos or podcasts or sort of live shows, please feel free to. There's so many streamers and content creators out there that are covering Elite at the moment. It's some real wholesome content to have a look. I think that covers most things. We were joined by, obviously, the wonderful Sam Marsh. Who else were we joined by in terms of
we spoke with
Sam,
Robin, Ben and Hannah.
So we had 4 guests on this week. So thank you so much for all of our development team. They are incredibly busy because although Update 13 is out, we've had a moment to catch our breath and sort of enjoy it. But now it's very much like, right, and now on to the next thing.
The next one.
And that's very much the case with them sort of development work. So we get a little bit of a moment to celebrate for full context chat directly after this show. We will be going to the pub and we will be having a drink. So that's just being honest. So there we go. So thank you so much again to our development team. But it's not just the developers that joined us. There's a huge amount of work that goes into Elite Dangerous. So I want to thank all the teams that are involved. It really is a moment for you all to be celebrating from everyone in the sound department, from production and QA, from narrative design, live game, everybody in every department. I've probably missed some people off, and I do apologise, but the work you do is tireless. It's appreciated by us. It's appreciated by all of our players, and I can't thank you enough. And if in chat we could have some 07s, please, for our development team, because they are one of the most passionate, driven teams I've ever had the pleasure to work with. So if we could show them some love, that'd be really, really grateful. So thank you so much. We'll win the world to them. So thank you. And we've got 10 minutes to go, but there's also a thank you that I'd like to give, which is to my own team who are sat on the sofa with me. They all work incredibly hard for everybody to get across what we've managed to achieve this week. It's only the start for all of us, but we couldn't do what we do without my wonderful team I have around me, and that includes Paul, who's even now behind the scenes working really, really hard for everyone. It couldn't be done without this team. I am immensely proud of them, and I can't wait to see what comes next. So that's it for this. All of the praising I'm going to give to my team, certainly. That's for the year. That's it. That's it. It's done. But that's it. It's a great time to be playing our space game. I really hope you're having a fun time. And I think this is probably a good note to end it on, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I reckon so. It's an exciting time for Elite Dangerous. We've got our lovely new Aftermath-themed social channels now, which is very cool. So excited to see what comes next. And hopefully you will join us for the next step in
2 weeks' time.
Story.
We'll be talking about some more stuff. We'll be back here in 2 weeks, anyways. But the story will evolve. So thank you, everyone. We will see you in 2 weeks' time. Thank you to you all. Much love. 07.